standard form. So let's begin. Okay, so our standard form. So whenever we're taking measurements in physics, we can encounter some very large, right? For example, this number here, it has over 20 digits behind the decimal point, right? And it's a very difficult number to call, and this is actually the approximate mass of the sun. So whenever we're taking measurements in physics, we can have very large numbers of this order, right? Or we can have very small numbers. For example, this number here, which is the approximate charge on the electron. Now, for one reason, we realize that these numbers are very large to call, and it is also very difficult for us to write these numbers and use them in calculations. So whenever we're in a case like that, we are prone to make errors. So when writing and performing calculations with these very large or very small numbers, it is easy for us to make errors when we do calculations, and the numbers are also very difficult to write. So to prevent this, right, we write numbers using what is called a standard form, or sometimes it is referred to as index notation or scientific notation. Now, whenever we're writing a number in standard form, we express it in this format: p times 10 to some index, where p is a positive integer between 1 inclusive and 10 exclusive. So any number from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 is what we'll place in place of p multiplied by some power of 10, where, right, so we're saying that r is an integer. So here we have p, which is our mantissa, right? And again, our mantissa must be a number between 1 and 10, not including 10. And we have some power of 10. Now, in order for us to write a number in standard form, there are some steps that we must follow. The first step, we have to write out the number in its current format. So for example, we have this number here, 5,255,004. Step 2, we move the decimal point to the left or to the right until one non-zero number is to the left of the decimal point. So in this case, we're going to move our decimal point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, right? And then we stop here because we have one non-zero number, as it says, a non-zero number to the left of the decimal point. So let's do that. So move our decimal point and place it right there, right? Now step 3 says we are to rewrite the number multiplied by some power of 10. So we rewrite our number with some power of 10, and the index of that power of 10 is determined by the number of times the decimal point was moved. So in our example, the decimal point was moved 6 times, right? So therefore the index on the power of 10 is 6, right? And the index is positive if the decimal place was moved to the left, and negative if it was moved to the right. So as you can see here in our example here, we get a positive index because move the decimal place to the left, right? So as it says here, if the decimal place is moved to the left, we get a positive index, and it is negative if we move it to the right. So here we have some examples here. You can pause the video right now and have a go at these. Okay, so once you've tried these, we can attempt to get the answers. Okay, so for the first one, right, our answer is 2.5821 times 10 to the 6. Our decimal point was right here. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 places to the left. And because we move our decimal place to the left, we have to write our number with the decimal place moved times 10 to the 6. Right? Likewise, we'll do the other ones. Same principle here. Move our decimal point from right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we write back our number, multiply by some power of 10, and since we move our decimal place 5 times to the right, we get a positive index. Now for this one here, number 3, our decimal place is right here, so we're going to have to move the decimal place to the right. So we go 1, 2, 3, we write back our number, and then we write it multiplied by some power of 10. And in this case, our decimal place was moved to the right, so we get a negative index. Likewise here, 7.88 times 10 to the minus 6. Decimal place was moved 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we write our number and we get a negative index. And the others follow the same procedure. Right? Same procedure here. So if you apply the rules that I gave you earlier in this session, you should be able to get these answers here. However, if you are not certain about anything that I present here, please feel free to send me an email or post in comments below. Like this video, share if you think it could help someone, and thank you for watching.